The urge to help wild animals that appear to be struggling is admirable, but feeding wildlife, particularly deer, isn't. Over the years, you've heard the Wyoming Game and Fish Department ask the public not to feed deer or any big game animal. Well meaning folks, thinking these animals are struggling, often throw out grain or other forms of livestock feeds, thinking it helps. It doesn't. Depending on where you live in the state, this winter has been either cold with less snow than usual or a year where snowfall is at or above average. In either case, animals like deer look for a handout because it's been there before. Feeding includes allowing access to birdseed, pet foods, shrubs in your yard, vegetable gardens, household waste, and hay in haystacks. Many town deer may look unhealthy and in need of better nutrition, but better nutrition won't come with artificial feeding. In fact, feeding, whether intentional or not, is often what begins the decline in the health and eventual death of deer in and around towns. Mule deer in particular have a highly specialized digestive system with specific bacteria in their gut that aids in the digestion of natural foods. What they don't have are the bacteria in their stomachs needed to digest foods outside of that range. It's not uncommon for game and fish personnel to find mule deer dead with stomachs full of undigested hay or grain. Instead of finding the right food sources, the deer fill their stomachs with what's easily available. At best, feeding mule deer only succeeds in making people who are compassionate about wildlife feel better about themselves. And at worst, it could be the factor that ultimately leads to that animal's death. Forage for wildlife right now in many places is abundant, so a lot of deer will opt to forage away from town. But for those animals that have become used to the free handouts, the best policy is not to help them and let them move on. This is Ray Hageman with the Wyoming Game and Fish Department.